to Kurt Volker, a former US ambassador to NATO. He's now the executive director of the McCain Institute, and he joins us live from Washington. Welcome to the program. Can the US and Russia really work together to bring a solution to the end of the conflict in Syria?
Well, I really don't think so. It would be nice if that were the case, but I think that there are some fundamentally different objectives and some real problems with the way that Russia is now intervening here. First off, as long as Assad is in power, remember he's killed over 250,000 of his own people. He's really created a vast separation between the Shia and the Sunni in the country that previously wasn't there. For him to be propped up in power militarily is only going to continue to keep this war going for a very long time.
The Russians would
Secondly,
The Russians would argue, though, that the amount of military that's been sent in is a very small contingent, and unless we actually sit down and include Assad in some kind of dialogue, we're losing a battle here, because nothing has, we haven't made steps forward in the last 4 years.
Right. Well, I think that that is certainly the Russian view. Problem with that is that, first off, Russia, as last I heard, was putting 28 fighter aircraft into an air base in Syria. They've got a naval base there. They put in some ground forces as trainers and advisors for the Syrian military. So they're stepping up their military involvement in a very big way, and that's on top of the equipment that they were already providing to Assad. As far as a political settlement goes, there's really no way you can see Assad himself taking part in any kind of political settlement in Syria. There are too many people who have been bombed and attacked by his forces to ever be willing to go back into a government in which he has any say. So it's got to be some kind of new political arrangement that emerges. That's the only stable way to go about this. And frankly, I think defeating ISIS is the priority, but seeing ISIS replaced by Assad and with what he has done to the country is not going to end the war.
We saw what happened when we removed powerful leaders from Iraq and Libya. Are we not in danger of doing the same thing with Syria?
I don't know what would be worse than what we see in Syria at the moment. We have a strongman, Assad, who is using conventional military forces and some non-conventional things like barrel bombs and occasional chemical attacks to kill his own people. That is what gave rise to the rise of ISIS inside Syria to begin with. That people were originally peaceful protesters, but turned to arms first to protect themselves. And then the most extreme groups, al-Qaeda and then al-Nusra and now ISIS, have risen to claim territory and to fight against the Assad regime. Fueling Assad further is not going to end this war.
Okay, Kurt Volker, what can the Obama administration do, if anything, at this stage?
Well, regrettably, I hate to say it, but we should have intervened a lot sooner before the civil war got out of hand. We had years in which to deal with this before Russia has now come in the way that it has. Still, I think the best solution is going to be to create a no-fly zone inside Syria, to have some ground forces there, ideally forces from the region, but perhaps also with some American ones, and to create safe zones inside Syria where Syrian people and refugees can live. That's going to be the first step. And then that creates a bit of a buffer for the Syrian people, and it creates an ability to begin to negotiate with the other side, not necessarily Assad himself, but the Alawite communities there that do have to be part of a long-term solution in Syria.
Okay, Kurt Volker from Washington, thank you.